going in with the Too Faced primer. It's called the Hangover Primer. I wouldn't necessarily say that this filled in my pores or smoothed out my skin, but it helped give my skin extra hydration, which I definitely need in these winter months. Then I'm mixing two foundations. I'm using the L'Oreal True Match. That's just like the regular one. And I'm in the shade W5. And then I'm mixing the Bourjois Healthy Skin Serum Foundation. And I'm in the shade Vanilla. Both of these foundations are amazing together. The L'Oreal True Match was a little bit too dry, so I decided to mix in the serum foundation to kind of help give it a little bit more luminosity. And I'm just going in with a Morphe brush. This is the M439 brush, and I love that it's not a flat kabuki brush, but it's really fluffy but dense at the same time. This brush is amazing and it's really inexpensive. So if you guys are on the market for a new brush, definitely look into Morphe because they are amazing quality and amazing brushes for really great prices. So I'm just going all over my face with this brush, blending in my foundation, blending it down my neck because we don't want a harsh line. I did have a little bit of lines from that brush. I don't know if it was because of the serum foundation or if it was because of the primer, but I did have to go in with my beauty blender and kind of press out those lines and soak up any excess product that I had. Now I'm going to be concealing. I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Concealer. That is definitely a mouthful, and I am highlighting with this as well, and I'm priming for eyeshadow. So the shade I'm in for this one is Fair Neutral. They do have a decent amount of shades, but I'm definitely at my palest right now, so I'm in the lightest shade they have. And I am just blending all of that out with the Beauty Blender, and then I'm taking any excess concealer that I have on my Beauty Blender, and I'm tapping that on the other areas of my face so that it doesn't look like, whoa, why does she have just like white under her eyes, nowhere else? So it helps balance. You always want to make your face balanced. Now I'm going in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm setting my under eye area. And this translucent powder is amazing. It's a little bit different than most translucent powders. It has a little bit of a vanilla hint to it, so it's not like that stark white, and it really sets your foundation, but it doesn't make you look dry or matte, and it doesn't grab onto any dry patches you might have. Now I'm going in with a big powder brush, and I'm using that same Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm setting my whole face with it. My brows are done. I used the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Chocolate, and I just filled them in more on the outer tail versus the inner half. And then I also used the Benefit Gimmie Brow in Medium Deep. Now for eyeshadows, I'm going to be using mostly Makeup Geek eyeshadows. The first shade is Peach Smoothie, and I'm using that on a Sigma E40 blending brush, and this is a synthetic brush, so it's really going to place all of the product. The brush is not going to soak up any of the product, and I'm just dusting that back and forth in windshield wiper motions. Now I am taking, I'm using the pencil as a tool, not the actual pencil itself, and I'm dipping it in my Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Liner in the shade Blackest Black, and I'm dipping that in there just to use as a tool, and then I'm completely putting that on my upper waterline and lower waterline, because I don't want it just to be on the bottom. I want the top lid and the bottom lash line to match today. Now I'm going in with the shade Creme Brulee, and this is very similar to Makeup Geek. It's a nice warm peachy brown, and I am just going right exactly where I put Peach Smoothie just to give the crease more depth and dimension before we start going in with the darker shades. And I'm just dusting that back and forth in windshield wiper motions. Now I'm going in with the shade Corrupt, and this is literally the blackest black on the market. It's amazing. You can manipulate this black to make it look even darker in different ways by setting a cream base first. I am using a Sigma Sigma E25 for the blending brush, and it is a goat haired brush, so it is going to soak up some of my product, and that's okay. That's what I wanted at first because I didn't want to place down the blackest, darkest amount of black. And that's what you always want to do. You want to start lighter and gradually get darker, because if you just put too much dark, then you have a hard time getting that off and lightening it up. So then I go in with a little Urban Decay pencil brush and really just try to blend out the harsh line in my crease before I start applying more black. And I just work back and forth, and take your time, because these dark smoky eyes, the key is blending. So my hand was hurting, I was blending so much. So then I go back in with the E40 just to help really buff everything out. And then I'm going in with a flat synthetic brush and deepening up that black even more. And as you can tell, it makes a big, big difference. And it's really applying the most pigment to the eye. And I'm just making sure that I place that just on my lid and I'm not passing my crease. And that's where you want to start also, because as you start blending it upward, that's when it starts to be blown out. But if you pass your crease and then you blend, it's way too high, and that's when you can look like you have raccoon eyes or that you got punched in the face. And nobody wants to look like that. We want it to look like a nice, cute, smoky eye. Now, most of you might stop and want to take this off. Don't take it off. Just take your time, blend everything out, and it will all come together. So after placing the black with the synthetic brush, I go back with the pencil brush in my crease, and I'm just blending. I did pick up a little bit of Cocoa Bear and Mocha, and I'm mixing those two shades together. And Cocoa Bear is a very warm brown, and Mocha is more of a dark neutral brown. So I'm mixing those together so I can get more of a neutral shade just to buff that out. So it's going to go from black to a little bit of a darker brown to a gradient of a lighter brown, and then it's going to fade into that peachy shade. So that's what you want, to have a smoky eye go into a gradient effect from darkest to lightest. And I'm just going back and forth with some creme brulee and peach smoothie on the E40, and I'm blending everything out. Now I'm taking the Sigma E15 flat definer brush, and this brush is amazing. It's the perfect density. It's a really great brush, and it's not too expensive, and I know Morphe has a great dupe for this brush. And I'm taking the Corrupt black eyeshadow, and I'm placing that as tightly as I can against my lashes, and then against the black liner, because I want to kind of smudge the black liner out, but I also want to place this as closely as I can, because I'm going to go in and I'm going to blend it out, and it's going to buff out more. So it's the same concept with your top lid. And I'm taking that all the way from my outer corner to my inner corner, because I want this to be a really blown out smoky eye. And then I'm going in with the same Cocoa Bear and Mocha mixed together, and I'm blending your lower lash line out. Don't be afraid to blend this out. It will help open your eyes versus just leaving that really harsh line. Now I'm going in with the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara in the shade Black, and I'm just coating my lashes with this. And then I'm going to highlight my brow bone, and this is the shade by MAC. It's called Nylon. It's my absolute favorite highlight. It's kind of like a yellowy based highlight, but it's still neutral. And then I also did put some of that on my inner corner to really open up my eyes, but I can't find the clip of that, so I'm so sorry guys, but I did. I placed that on my brow bone and then on my inner corner, and it really gives a lot of life. And then I'm using the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. And I love this bronzer because it's very neutral. It's not too warm. It's not too cool. and it's light enough that I can build it. And when I'm this fair, I need something like that because I can't go in with a dark bronzer because it's going to look like I have bruises on my cheeks. So I'm blending that down my neck to give it a little bit, and I did not contour, I just really bronzed my cheeks. So I'm going in with lips. I am using an e.l.f. lip crayon, and it's in the shade Natural. I just wanted to prime my lips, but I didn't want to line them. And then I'm going in with an Ofra long wearing liquid lipstick in the shade Saint Tropez. This shade is amazing. It's the perfect pink, and it lasts literally all day. I do have another Ofra liquid lipstick, and it's in a darker shade. It definitely doesn't last as long as this one does, but they're great liquid lipsticks, and if you want a pink that doesn't move, this is definitely the way to go, because I know when I apply pink lipsticks, a few hours later it's gone. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!